Hey guys, this is another We Deal in Lead Gunslinger creation video. Going to be using the Ashcan version 0.9.1 rules, which is the most recent as of today. First is to roll a D100 on the first name table. Charisma. Excellent name. Next is the surname table, so that's another D100. Legler. Charisma Legler. Right, I think Charisma would use she, her pronouns. Alright, next is the background table. So this informs the gunslinger's knowledge and potential skills. So that is a D10. A hunter. So Charisma was a hunter before she became a gunslinger. Alright, next is the traits table. A series of tables that determine physical traits. So first is physique. So I'm going to roll a D10 on physique. So Charisma has a brawny physique. Come in handy as a hunter. Next, type of skin does Charisma have? Scarred. Next is hair. What type of hair does Charisma have? Oily. What type of face does Charisma have? 3. Chiseled. Next is eyes. Sunken. How does Charisma speak? So her speech is precise. What type of clothing does she wear? Flowing. Interesting. Now next, what is her virtue? Or what is one of her virtues? 9. She's serene, and along with the virtue comes vice. So what is her vice? Bloodthirsty. Interesting combination. Serene yet bloodthirsty. What type of reputation does Charisma have? So she has a reputation for being focused. And what misfortunes has she experienced in the past? Fractured. So she's been fractured at some point in the past. I'm going to take that literally and say that she's had a leg fractured in the past. So she walks with a limp now. So I'm going to roll for her age now. So 4d12 plus 10. That's 4. 32. We're going to look at what type of gun does Charisma carry. So that is a d6. D6. So 1 dual 6 shooters. Classic gunslinger. Right. So for her guns, what type of embellishments does she have on them? So I roll 2d6 for this one. So that is 7. So she's got a leather-wrapped bone handle on her 6 shooters. And what type of engraving does she have? So she's got an engraving of a dragon. Okay, so next, I'm going to roll for ability scores. So 3d6 down the line for strength, dexterity, and willpower. Strength is 14. Dexterity is 13. It's a plane going by. And willpower, nice, is 12. So I think that's a good distribution, so I'm going to keep those and not swap any. Right, let's roll 2d6 for grit. Because gunslingers are a bit tougher than a regular adventurer. So I'm going to roll 2d6 for starting grit. That is 7. So if grit is reduced to 0, then Charisma would start taking strength damage on any attacks. We'll do 3d6 for lead. So Charisma starts with 3 days rations, a torch, and 3d6 lead. So I'll roll for the lead. Lead is both currency and ammo for her guns. So that is 11. Okay, so for starting gear and equipment, first I'm going to roll a d10 to determine what kind of hat, if any, Charisma wears. That is 1. So she wears a thread hat. So it has a dented crown and curled brim. It's a classic hat. All right, what kind of armor does Charisma have? That's a d20. That is 16, so she wears thick furs. Thick furs give an armor rating of 1. So the armor rating determines how much damage is absorbed by physical attacks. Okay, so for a secondary weapon, that's another d20. And that's 15, so she's got a saber. Expeditionary gear is a d20. That is 10, so she's got some leather cuffs. D10 for tools. That is a 3, so she's got some chalk. Always comes in handy. And D10 for trinkets is a 10, so she's got a rook's skull that she wears around her neck on a leather strap. Bonus item, I'm going to roll a D20. That's 11, so she gets an extra piece of expeditionary gear. And that is a blanket. Right, so that gives us Charisma Legler, she, her. She has a brawny physique with scarred skin, oily hair, a chiseled face, and sunken eyes. She speaks in a precise manner and wears flowing clothing. She's serene yet bloodthirsty, has a reputation for being focused, and has experienced misfortune in the form of a fractured leg, which has resulted in a limp. She wears dual 6-shooters with leather-wrapped bone handles and dragon engraving. She's got 14 strength, 13 dex, 12 will, and 7 grit. She starts with 7 lead. She wears a threaded hat, thick furs, and has a saber as a secondary weapon. She wears leather cuffs, also has some chalk, and a rook skull that she wears around her neck, and a blanket. So with all her gear, Charisma is now ready to journey into the Drifted World and join Order of Gunslingers.